hello out there. We are all back together on tonight, and I am super excited because it's the last show for Uncensored Conversation in 2022, and I have this phenomenal guest that I have been waiting for. We've had to delay her twice, and I am super excited tonight that she is able to be with me. So let's get some things started. Let's get those housekeeping rules out of the way. We are Uncensored Conversation. We're elevated, not tolerated. That means our conversation is unscripted, and our guest, is here by her choice, and we are waiting to hear what she has going to empower us with on tonight. But that also means that she is a creditable licensed professional, which means that she will not quote prices on the show. If you want to reach out to my guest on tonight and you want to have her on your program, or you have an event coming up and you want her to be one of those keynote speakers, you can reach out to her for her pricing and all of that other information. Tonight is two good friends having a conversation about her business and what we're trying to do to empower other people. So, guys, sit back and relax. We know that there's a slight delay in programming tonight, so it's like about a minute behind schedule, but that's not going to stop us because my guest tonight is the phenomenal, my girl. The first time I met her, I was super excited. I just can't tell you how much she puts the energy in the atmosphere for me. And none other tonight is my guest, Dr. Tonoah Hampton. See, I call her Dr. T because she is just absolutely that quick and amazing to me. Dr. T, welcome to Uncensored Conversation. How you doing tonight?
Oh, all is well. Thank you for having me on, sis. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share on your platform. It's a blessing and it's an honor.
Wow. Well, it's like we can never, it was forever getting here. I was like, what are we going to do? Push it all the way to January? But I am super excited because for those of you that are watching by live stream, by any social media, please go out there and share, care, and like. Tell people to come on over to Uncensored Conversation because this is going to be fire. I just got it. I just feel it in my bones. It's going to be a fire conversation because that old saying, Dr. T, anything and everything can happen. It's only trying to be a distraction to what we're going to do tonight. And that's how I'm looking at it. I'm laughing. I've been sick for a couple of weeks and the voice is coming in and out, but I'm just super excited. Guys, this young lady right here, she is on the roll. I mean, you have got to know that when you see that face right there, that means power and strength. And we want you to be a part of that. Welcome, Michelle B. All of our friends out there tonight that's watching by live stream. Go out there and tell some folks to come on and share and care alike with us on tonight. So, Dr. T, I like my guests to introduce themselves because you know what? Nobody knows you better than you other than you. So, Dr. T, would you introduce your lovely self to the listening audience on tonight?
Whew. Well, I could probably give you all of my labels: mother to 7, grandmother to 14, great grandmother to 2, the wife of one phenomenal husband, one. Yes, the first one got rid of me, and it's okay because it was a blessing. Um, I ain't mad at him. And so I can say I'm a nurse of 30 years. I have a doctoral degree in strategic leadership. Oh, health minister, health coach, licensed, ordained, you name it. You probably can give me all of those titles, and some will know me in various settings. But I'm really, at the end of the day, I'm just a servant of God, right? I'm just his servant. And in the marketplace and outside of the marketplace, when I show up, I'm just going to show up who he made me. So who am I? I'm a person who helps create safe spaces for people to heal. I'm a healing advocate. What does that mean? Your healing is important, and I am walking side by side with you, encouraging you to make health and healing a priority.
Wow.
Health
Wow.
and healing a priority. And we don't want to just be healed. We want to be made whole and therefore have a transformation,
That's
body,
right.
mind, soul, and spirit.
That's right.
So that's who Dr. Tonoah is. That's who Dr. T is. Choose a name. I'm just Tonoah. At the end of the day, I'm just Tonoah, and I'm here to walk this journey with you by creating that safe space so that you can heal and get to your next level.
And that, I love the way you just introduced yourself, because truly nobody could have done that better than you, right? But one of the things that I really like is, I popped up in my head was, this is how you're going to remember her, how she says her name, to know her,
Yes.
to know her. That's how I'm going to look at it. I'm talking to the doctor of to knowing her, because I'm her and I need to know who I am. And who better to tell me than the queen of the doctor to know her, Hampton. I am just super excited. You are the executive director of Bomb TV. And every time I see that, I'm going, that's a bomb in Gideon. That's the first thing that pops in my head. And then I'm thinking, a bomb is explosive. It gives energy, it gives light, it gives fire. All of these things are, when I see you and when I talk to you, that's what I get. That light, that energy, that fire that we need. And I am super excited. There's a lot of things that we want to talk about tonight. I know we got a lot of people out there that are watching. People are getting ready for the holidays. They're getting ready for, they're telling the kids to get ready for Santa Claus. And, some people are getting ready to transition into a new year. We start making, all of these resolutions and all of these things. But tonight, I want to talk about several different topics. First of all, you are an author, you are a motivational speaker, and you are the health and wellness queen of 22 for me. And you're, like you said, you're talking about not only healing, but health and wellness. You're bringing those two pieces together. So, we've been talking about a lot about mental health right now, with different things that have happened in the community. But women experience mental health on a different issue and wellness in a different issue, in a different way. We tend to carry it so long that it becomes a physical weight. When I say that, we carry the weight of other people's issues, and we carry those things that it begins to weigh us down as women. Dr. T, what would you like to say to our women tonight, especially how we're getting ready to transition to a new year, and how do we need to start preparing ourselves to get ready?
So I think you said a lot, especially about women, and not that I don't care about our brothers, because I
Yes, we
do. They're very important. All people are. But one thing we know is that women are typically our primary decision makers in our homes and in our families. And there's a heavy weight that comes with having to be the person to help manage all the concerns that come in the house. How, what we gonna feed the children? How we gonna pay these bills? Should we take this doctor's appointment? Should we get a second opinion? So many things go on, but the one thing I want to say to women is that your health matters.
That's right.
Your health matters, and for you to show up authentically and live out all the plans that God has for you, you have to be well. And if you're not well, then the decisions that you make are impacted. So if I have to say anything to the women today, I encourage you that as we spend these last few days in 2022, that you do not forget that your health matters. There's not any amount of makeup, red bottoms, beautiful clothes that you can put on that can stop the bleeding on the inside. So
Mm,
today I'm asking you, if I could give you something to do, I'm going to ask the women to apply the balm
come on now.
to the wound. And
Yeah,
and so what is that balm, right? I need you to build trust in who God created you to be. You have to trust the God that created you,
that's right.
right? I need you to assess where you are in respect to what he's created you to do, which means you have to take some time and sit with yourself.
That's right.
And then once you do that, begin to understand and ask God for the lifestyle modifications that you need to take
Mm, Come on now.
in those areas of your health, right? And so, for those who don't know, who may not have seen me before, I truly believe that there are 7 areas of health that we must address. And at any point, when any one of them are out of balance, you are off balance and you're going to be tempted to fill those needs with ungodly behaviors. So, what are they? There's your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, your nutritional health, your relational health, your financial health, and your spiritual health. And so I need you all today to build trust and understanding who God gave you and what He's called you to be. I need you to assess your level of health and well being in those 7 areas of health. And then I need you to begin to implement lifestyle modifications. Why? Because God has a plan and strategies that will only work for you, right? Everybody can't do keto, right? Everybody can't do the DASH diet. A spa treatment won't work for everybody. You have to seek God for the lifestyle modifications that you need in your life. And then lastly, mindset transformation. We have got to transform our mindset. Why do I say that? Because so often we say we trust God. We look at the situation, social us to look at our situations and determine if we're well or we're not well. And we all begin to take steps to lifestyle modification. So the New Year's coming, you're gonna get on your diet, or you're gonna
Mhm.
fast. You're gonna fast your way to 2023 because that's my 50th birthday, and so I need to lose a few pounds. I was on the road to 50, right? 50 pounds by 50, huh? Right? We all we all put these things in place, but if the mind is not transformed, you're
That
gonna go back to the old patterns when life happens.
that's
And,
it.
and so many of us are lifing right now.
That's it.
So I'm going to ask the women on that's watching here today, or better yet, anybody that's watching today,
Anybody
I'm going to ask you to apply the balm. I just
applying the
laid it
bomb.
out. Apply the balm to those areas.
And we're gonna put those up as you talk about them, Doc. Because as I tell you, we got a delay going on with the system, but that's okay. But the key is we want you to apply the bomb. And Doc
Yes.
is going to give us the tools of how to apply. He's going to give us a little bit of something of how we can begin that process. That, I am super excited because I'm seeing a lot of people are texting behind the scenes or inboxing behind the scene, and they're saying that all sounds good. And we know that you're going to, you're going to you're going to usher us into the process. But do you sometimes think we got to get out of the way of our own blessing? Because sometimes we want to get into the we want to do what we need to do, but the struggle is getting rid of our own inner weaknesses or our own I call it self-sabotaging, like you're saying, applying these principles that you're going to share some insight to us tonight about. But how can we move that old man out of the way so that we can be ready to accept this process, this 7 steps? Because these 7 steps sounds amazing to me. I'm ready to take on this challenge, and that's how I look at it. It's going to be a new challenge for me to go ahead and say, that I have 7 principles that I can follow now. Because a lot of times we give a lot of people, quotes, or we give them declarations to use or affirmations to use, but we don't tell them first you got to get rid of your mess. You got to get ready. You got to prepare. You got to declutter in order to understand how these 7 principles are truly going to work for your favor. So, can you tell us how we need to get rid of our own self sabotaging so that we can start receiving these 7 principles that you're going to share with us tonight?
You have to be honest with yourself. Where are you? Right? Because again, we we've been trained to perform,
That's right.
right? And so in performing, we fail to truly be honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
so, because we're not honest with ourselves, we cannot address the issues that lay beneath the surface. Some have been festering for years. And so, yeah, it sounds really good. Many people have heard it like, yeah, get yourself together, self care. Self care isn't selfish, and
mm-hmm.
all of that's important. But what you haven't said or haven't done is been honest with yourself that I need help. I
Ah.
need a lot of help. I need a little help. I don't even know where to start with the help that I need. And
Mm-hmm.
being able to be honest with yourself about that and then honest with God, right? That's why the building trust is important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honesty is the key to trust. So if you're not honest with yourself, you can't even begin to walk in the space of trust because you got a trust issue with you.
That's it.
You
That's
don't trust your you don't
come
trust
on now.
yourself,
That's it.
right? So I don't trust myself. How could I possibly trust someone else?
That's right. That's right.
So tonight I'm going to ask our viewers to begin to identify the lies you have told yourself
Mm-hmm.
that prevents you from trusting yourself, others, and God.
Wow. Wow. That's gonna be deep. That's gonna be deep for some folks. I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm going, So you're touching. You know how we say, you're stepping on my toes. Well, there's some things we all got to be honest with. You know, um, what is my issue? What is it that's holding me back? Why am I afraid to let it go? Why does it keep coming up in the same old place in the same old time? What
Mhm.
is it that I can't let go to accept this? I got to be honest. There's some things that I'm afraid of. And I'm sure a
Success
lot,
and failure. I'm afraid of success and failure.
girl, I was getting ready to say,
So both of them are in conflict within you, within yourself. Yes, you're afraid to fail. Oh, but I'm equally afraid to succeed.
that
And
part.
see, I can tell you this. See, the bomb wasn't formed because I had a notion. The bomb was formed because I had an experience.
Wow.
See, my story is not much different than other people. The details may be different,
That's
but I
it.
had to have an experience. Tanoah was not honest with Tanoah because she had a fear of success and failure. And so all while knowing principles and have grown up in the church, hearing name it, claim it, profess
Mhm.
it, right? What you sow, you reap, all of those things. I can do all things through Christ. Like
That's
all of
it.
those things were in my head.
Right.
But nobody told me how to deal with my head,
Mm-hmm.
mental health,
That's it.
that was yet having challenges because success and failure was causing fear to paralyze me and better yet keep me from real relationship with myself, others, and God.
That's it. That's it.
That part.
That part right there.
Yeah. I was not walking in integrity. Now, my mouth was sharp. I was really good at being honest with you and telling you exactly how I felt. And my face probably told you before my mouth ever opened,
Uh, yeah.
right? But the truth was, I never applied that same lens to myself.
That's
That
right.
critical spirit that I had, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I projected it on others, but it was really because there was issues within me.
That's
So
right.
to all of my people out there that are really good at judging people and providing critique and feedback,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you to examine yourself. What is it in you that exists that allows you to identify so well with that issue in someone else?
That's it. Oh, oh. Now that's gonna be a moment right there. And I'm going to try to give us a few minute break because I'm telling you, you are touching on so much tonight that if we be real honest and we say, okay, I'm ready to make this transition and I'm ready to take on whatever it takes for me to take on, then tonight, guys, you have no excuse because we have the bomb TV director, Dr. Tonoah Hampton, is in the house. We're going to take a few minute break so you can find out who's coming after January the 1st. But we want to give our guests a few minutes just to take a breather. This gives you guys out there time to tell people to come on and log in because we're getting ready to take it with the bomb. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. We are back. We are back. I tell you, if you are, have you missed the first part of this conversation, you don't want to miss the rest of it. I'm going to try my best and write as many notes down in the link so that you can be able to follow along with us on tonight. But I tell you, call somebody. I don't know, email somebody, send a smoke screen up, do whatever you got to do to get somebody to come on in here. I just knew it was going to be a fire night. I knew it because of all the things that had hesitated or tried to hinder us from getting to this conversation tonight. And I'm speaking for myself. I need the bomb because I'm putting away some things. I'm decluttering some things. So I can be transparent because this is my show. I can be transparent. So I can tell you, I'm putting away some things, people, places, and things that I know that like you, I was afraid of the success and the failure. But in 23, I'm walking in with a different attitude. So I need tonight to help me get past all of that clutter that's in this brain of mine, all of the health issues, all of that stuff, and put things in perspective. I don't know about you guys out there that's watching, but if you're not honest, and that's the one of the key things that she has talked about tonight is being honest. If you're not honest with yourself, then the things that she's going to talk about tonight is not going to help you because the first step is being honest with yourself, not with everybody else, because nobody sleeps with you truly but yourself.
Come on.
Dr. T, so which one of these seven do you want to tackle with us first? Look, I can't wait to see the replay so I don't make sure I don't miss nothing. That's how excited I am. I know that it is a purpose for every guest that I've had on my show. I'm going to say this for me. For every guest that I've had on my show, I know it's having a purpose because it has empowered me or enlightened me. It's made me want to push further to do what I do. So I want to know which one of those hot topics of your seven that you want to share with us first tonight. Just, and don't give us everything because people got to tune into you every morning. Y'all hear me? Y'all got to turn into her every morning to check her out. Because I'm telling you, I go back and I listen to the replays. Every time you send it to me, I'm going back and I'm listening to the replays. So which one of those seven you going to hit me with first?
So I think in this season, one of the things we might want to talk about is that space of relational health.
Yes.
Right?
That one.
Because 'tis the season to be jolly. And 'tis the season to give gifts. And we just left Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
And oftentimes I think we don't consider how our relational health impacts the other areas of our lives. So we
Mm,
talk about mental health, and that's extremely important.
it
As a
is.
nurse, your physical health is paramount. As a minister, your spiritual health, right? Got
Right.
to get it together. But let's
Right.
talk about relational health.
Mm,
Forgiveness, letting go of the past. Did you hear me? Letting
mm,
go of the past. There's freedom in that. And so,
mm.
Victoria, we can't go through this life without relationships. And people often say, yes, people in my life for a reason, a season, and sometimes a lifetime. But what happens when that person that was in your life, you had unrealistic expectations, or you had expectations that they didn't meet?
Woo.
And now the relationship is strained. What do we do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Do you hold on to that grudge? Right. This is where you got to be honest with yourself. Do you evaluate how you put expectations on someone, on a relationship that they did not have the capacity to fulfill?
That's good. That's good.
You knew them, but you didn't know their circumstance or their current
Ooh.
situation. You may have friends right now who say, I ain't heard from you in a minute.
Mm.
They didn't know you had COVID. And I'm not talking about you, but I'm just saying somebody,
You're right.
they,
Go ahead.
they don't know that you've been sick and you've been struggling to hold it together.
Come on now.
They don't know that you're trying to figure out how to make ends meet, but they have an expectation
That
that you
that
show up for them time and time and time again.
over and
And if
over.
in this season you don't have the capacity
Come on now, Doc.
to be who and what you were to them, or who they expected you to be in their lives.
Right.
So tonight, for our relational health, I'm going to ask you all to take that look on the inside and trust God enough to
Mm.
forgive. Why? Because forgiveness is
Wow.
dismissing a debt, dismissing your demands that others owe you something.
Mm. Come on, Doc.
Did you hear me? That's
Come on,
forgiveness.
Doc. Forgiveness.
Dismissing your demand that others owe you something.
Come on, Doc.
Some of us are demanding an apology. Some of us say that they could at least pay me back,
Mm.
but they ain't got two nickels to rub together, nor a pot to use or a window to throw it out of.
Come on now, Doc.
Now you assume that they have something, but you don't understand that the clothes they had, they're repurposing, or someone gave it to them. So you have put your expectations on a situation that you don't have all the data for. And
That's
it's
it.
so it's like a 48-hour case. Have you ever watched that show? 48
Mm-hmm.
hours. They got 48 hours, and you always think that you know that it was the husband that killed the wife or the
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, but you get one more piece of information and you realize that you don't have the whole story.
Come on now.
Such is life. Are there times when people willingly hurt you? Yes. Are there times that people do mean and nasty things to you? Yes. Is it true that you'll feel resentment at times? Yes. But I'm going to ask you to trust God,
Mm.
because He
Mm-mm-mm.
calls for us to forgive.
Yes.
The same grace that you're going to want when you miss it is the same grace you have to be willing to give somebody else when they miss it with you. So you're not the only person who's entitled to the grace.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm
That
going
is
to ask you to let go of the past.
letting
Doesn't
go.
mean reconciliation, but it does mean forgiveness and letting go of the past so that in the area of your relational health, you're not harboring unforgiveness
Mhm.
that leads to anger, bitterness, envy, jealousy, sin, sickness, dis-ease in your body, because
Mm,
you holding all the stress there, all of the nastiness. The
mm.
body will keep the score.
Wow. The body will keep the score.
Yes.
That is deep. The body will keep the score.
Have you ever had your shoulders hurt real bad?
Girl, come on
You've
now.
been in a tense situation. I had a situation Friday. I had this huge um opportunity come before me, and it was weighty, but also I had this person that had done something to me, and I had some expectations that weren't met,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and it was impeding my next.
Oh, Dot. Oh, Dot.
But they had a situation that they couldn't get over. But I'm looking at you saying, but I did my part.
Mm.
And so as I was preparing to go to this other opportunity on Friday, God had to speak. You know how he speak to you in the car? Like for me, he talked to me in the car
Girl.
because I can't get away. I can't find one more thing to do because the radio will never play the right song. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to turn it off or not want to listen to it anyway. And he begins to talk. And he began to tell me that I needed to be grateful for all the things that he's done for me. And he began to let me see what those things were and how content I really am, despite not getting what I was supposed to get from this person who now wants to tell me about their issues
Mm-mm. Mm.
as to why they can't do what they were supposed to do. And now I have unmet expectations that I also have a contract for it. I got a contract, and like I did my part.
You did your part.
I did my part, but let me let you know, I showed up for that appointment after having this conversation with God in the car and somebody else calling and telling me their woes was far greater than mine because I'm
Mm.
really content because he let me see I'm content. I go through the next situation and God let it go well because it was stressful too. Get ready going in. And when I sat and thought about it, when I got home, my entire body was relaxed.
Wow.
What I left with that morning related to what the person didn't do, and you know how you do that? You get real
Yep.
like inside.
Yeah,
I was holding it all in here. My
that's
back
it.
was hurting, my legs was hurting. I was miserable because I was holding unforgiveness about a situation because I had unmet expectations.
Oh,
And,
that's so good.
and I wanted them to give me what they owed me.
Mm.
And in this case, it was my money. It's
Hello.
Christmas.
Hello.
Now
Hello.
so think about now my relationships get off.
Right.
If I don't have that, if I was depending on that to do that. Thank God that wasn't my dependency and my trust. Because remember, the B in bomb, apply the bomb, is building trust. So if
Come
my
on.
trust was not in God,
There you go.
and my trust was in the money or the relationship or the situation, it would let me down. And unforgiveness would have the opportunity, because know this, the enemy is coming at you in that area so you can get off track.
Wow. Wow. So let me put a pause right there because I want you talking about forgiveness, and you brought into a couple of things that I'm just being transparent. That's my show. This is me and you talking, Doc. You know, the other folks, they just listening at afar. So I'm listening to you. And, you know, we know people, like you said, how did you phrase that? Expectations that we have on other people that
Mm-hmm.
they're not equipped to eat, that they don't even know that we're giving them that access to. We're giving them all this credit that they know that they should have did, that they didn't do, that they didn't do. But how is it that when we're at that place, we forget that we gave them the access to that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
part of the issue is I deemed you so highly that I gave you access to a part of me that you should have never had anyway. And now I'm sitting here looking at you, wanting you to understand that you didn't do what you said you were going to do, return of the money. I gave you access to knowing my livelihood, my past. So I gave you the access to knowing that you would always be there to protect me, or you will always be there to guard me. But you let me down now because something else has happened in your life. How is it that when we get to that point, that forgiveness is the last thing that we think about? Why is forgiveness the last tool that we think about? Because we don't want to forgive that person, and we don't want to forgive ourselves. We don't want to forgive the situation. And we're not going to ask God, please forgive me for not being more aware. We don't want to do that. Why is forgiveness the hardest one? Why is it the
Because
hardest?
we have to be willing, here we go, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest with ourselves as to what part we played, right?
Mm-hmm.
The part that we played. And so we all play a part in things that happen and go on in our lives. And so when we're not, or we are challenged with being honest with ourselves, we'll find ourselves
Stuck.
stuck. And the truth is, sometimes, like, I'm talking about something that may not be as serious, but if that's somebody's last,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
They had an expectation that the person would do what they said they were going to do, but what they didn't calculate is that that person could have a situation,
That's right.
right? And
That's
so
right.
now the question is your trust in the person, or is your trust in that situation in the God to, that you say you serve?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And God, even if they let me down, you promised that you would never leave me. You
Mhm.
promised that you would never forsake me.
Come
You
on now.
said that you love me, and this hurts right now.
Right.
So being honest with yourself and God is the first step.
That's the first step.
Being honest.
Suppose, and I guess I'm playing. I don't want to say the devil's advocate because that's not. I don't like that phrase. I just don't,
Mhm, mhm.
because sometimes it ain't the devil. It's just us. My dad says three. We had to deal with three people: ourselves, the devil, and God. So I'm not gonna say I'm playing the devil's advocate. But do you think sometimes people don't understand that they're not being honest with themselves because of, like you said, how we've been trained? You know, I'm a PK, so there's things that I saw in the church growing up that I saw my parents get hurt with, that I declare I am not gonna get hurt with that. So there's a place of maybe not complete forgiveness for what I saw in my past, right, of how someone else was treated. But is it
Mhm.
sometimes that we just don't understand what honesty really is? I mean,
Absolutely. No, we don't know what it looks like when it's applied to us. Because guess
like,
what? Some of us have told ourselves lies for a very long time that they become our truth.
come on, come on.
Sometimes we gather facts together to have evidence of what we say is the truth, and it's
Mhm.
a lie.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
And so hear me, for anybody that's listening, I'm not telling you to minimize the offense or minimize what happened to you, or it didn't happen to you, to excuse the behavior. But sometimes we have to be willing to face the offense and understand the roles we played, right? Or how holding unforgiveness about this situation can hinder our own true healing by using rationalization and false thinking.
So when in some sense we could be even stunting our own growth. We're stunting our own healing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're causing other issues to apply. Because even as you were talking about how, the pains begin to be in the back and the shoulders and all of those things, if you're uptight about something else, a lot of times, because I don't claim nothing, but sciatica is one of the issues that I've been diagnosed with for over the years. And I've often wondered, well, what is my triggers? Okay, I'm also a migraine sufferer. What is my triggers? Usually, and the thing is, my doctor always laugh when I say I have a migraine after the situation is over. It's the cloud has gone, the sunshine has come. That's when I get the migraine. Typically, most people say they get the migraine as they're going through the stress. I don't get the migraine when I'm in distress. I get the migraine afterwards, which is always, was fascinating to me, but not fascinating, but anyway. But then when you talk about the pains in the back, as a person who, for a public job, I sit all day. And immediately before I get out the bed, I've had that struggle with, oh, my back is hurting. Oh, and I haven't even touched the keyboard to start the day's routine. I'm thinking about the stress that this is causing me instead of being more relaxed and being honest with myself that it's not the work. It's that I didn't want to be at that work that's stressing me. And so what am I going to do to change it? I got to be honest with myself. It's like being honest with somebody else. I got to be honest with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Any of that tension, because all I'm doing is creating more tension and more stress and more health issues and more things that we don't want. But we're incorporating all of those things because we're not first being honest with ourselves. It goes back to the honesty piece. Girl, you are just blowing my mind. Look, y'all, I'm telling y'all, this lady right here, she is just, oh my gosh. There's so many things, and I know you probably already picked it up. There's so many things that you're tapping on tonight that I have been dealing with. But some people say, well, you're a life coach. You're an evangelist. You're this and you're that. Well, let's first be honest. I'm human, and we all go through human things. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anybody on this earth that can say that they're not going through something. But how we handle it, according to the bomb, is what is going to get us to that next level. Doc, I want you to hold on for a second. I want us to get a couple of breathers in. I want to tell people, look, this is who Elevated Not Tolerated is, and you who Victoria Elevates is, excuse me. So come and stick with us before more of a conversation with my friend Dr. T. Hampton. Y'all, she just went over one of the 7, and I'm on cloud 999. Sit back and take a break. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. We're back, guys, with my phenomenal guest, Dr. Tonoah Hampton. To know her is how I'm looking at her. That's what I'm gonna call you from this day forward, Dr. T. Know her, because you're helping me to know who I am tonight, and I'm excited. This is just so much energy. Even after I've been sick for a minute, and just hearing you give the information that you're giving tonight, guys. If you have not had a chance, I'm telling you, go out there, find her on Facebook, find her on Twitter, find her on YouTube. Find this amazing young lady who has given us a whole different look at the bomb TV. And I want that. Oh gosh, see, this is so much. How, before we go further, how did you, I know you said you had your own experience, but how did you come to put it into total 7 components? I mean, we can have our experiences and we can say, okay, I'm going to do this. It came out of this and this and this and this. But how did it come to you that, don't give us all of your tricks of the trade now, but tell us, how did you come to compiling it to 7 things?
So I had spent 12 years, 12 abdominal surgeries.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And after the last surgery, I was tired. I,
Right.
I didn't want to go through anymore. And it was in that moment, as I laid in the bed trying to heal, that God began to take me through scriptures, to be totally transparent.
Wow.
And I was asking the question for real, is there a balm in Gilead?
Oh,
Why?
wow.
Because I had seen all of the doctors. I had had the surgeries and I was still having more surgeries. I had done the chemo. I was tired. And that was the question I was asking him. And God began to take me through the word of God about, yes, there is a balm, right? But then he took me to the woman with the issue of blood, because see, my story seems so much, it
Mm.
started very much like hers, and I had bleeding that was uncontrolled, and it was just the start of the 12 surgeries. And I studied that woman, and he began to show me through her life what she experienced. So, yep, she had spent all her money, financial health. She
Mm.
was bleeding, her physical health.
Mm.
Well, she couldn't go out in public while she was bleeding because it was unclean. So her emotional and mental health. She couldn't have a man, her relational health, because she couldn't be touched. And so, because she couldn't be touched and couldn't be in those spaces, she couldn't go to the synagogue to take care of her spiritual health. But one day she got desperate for an answer.
Wow. Wow.
And she had to make a decision that that day she was going to risk it all
Yes.
to get well. And so God set me on a quest. I had to challenge myself. Would I risk it all? Risk looking like a fool out here in these Facebook streets, right? In
Mm.
social media land,
Mm-hmm.
telling people about the bomb. But really, at the core of all of those things, see, for her, for me, and for many of us, we could
Yes.
not have our money. We could not have our physical health. We could not have our spiritual health, right? We could not
Yes.
have the husband. We could not have the children. But at the end of the day, all those things, the thread that runs through it all is love.
Yes. Yes.
And so
Yes.
God had to restore the love that was broken in me.
Mm.
Because see, life is going to happen. None of us will get out of here unscathed by life.
That's right.
And so no matter if it's where we live, we work, we play, we worship,
That's it.
we're impacted by those things.
That's it.
The very
Mm-hmm.
place of your birth impacts who you show up as. And so God showed me that, yes, all of those things in life influence who we are. But when his love is restored in our life by applying the balm of his
Wow.
word,
Mm-hmm.
it's then that we can begin to experience his healing. It's the love that's going to cast out all fear because we're building our trust in him.
That's it. That's it.
See, I can't tell you about Buddha and I can't tell you about the universe, but I can tell you about a God that's unfailing, that stands outside of time and works inside of time. And
That's
no
it.
matter how broken and dirty and bloody and bleeding I was,
Yes.
he loved me. And
Yeah.
he loved me enough to give me grace. And he loved me enough to allow suffering and sorrow to be my companions, to becoming everything that he called me to be. And so some of us got to be willing to risk it all and take suffering and sorrow on the journey to becoming.
Mm.
See, we want to get through this life and we would choose peace and joy on our journey. But would we become the person he called us to be?
That's it.
His
Wow.
love, his
It's,
love. It's the love that we need.
mm-hmm.
And it was the love that started me on this journey. And that doesn't come without a cost because some people are going to hurt you. Some people are going to walk away. Some people aren't going to understand. Some people are going to talk about you, blaspheme you, and all those things.
That's
But
right.
we have to remember that love is patient and love is kind. Love keeps no record. Love gonna have to discipline you sometimes.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Mm. See, again, I knew that it was need be for you to be here. I also knew that I felt like, as many times as we had to push it back, that it had to be a purpose for the pushback. Mm, okay. It had to be a purpose for the pushback. And that purpose is that for us to be able to really, well, I'm going to say it for me. One of those things is because I needed to have the Christmas spirit regenerated. You know what I mean? Because of all the things that I've been through and all of the things that you've been through and the things that you're talking about. It was the love that brought us to where we are. It was the love.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest gift that we we don't always want to talk about, but it is actually that love that has brought us here. And so as we're ending this part of 22, as we get ready, as we say, as we all say, as we get ready for next Sunday, which we should be doing it every day, just not next Sunday, but as we are getting ready to give reverence to the birth of Christ, it was the love.
Mm-hmm.
But it was need for you to be with us tonight to get us to this next place. Because without knowing the bomb, those 7 key things, because even as you broke it down, I'm seeing the scripture unfold as you're talking. And it made such good sense what you just said. But how many of us have had an experience that we hide because we're afraid, again, of the success and the failure? Not knowing that our success and our failures is what's going to help catapult somebody else to understanding love. Excuse me. Because I truly believe that there's somebody out there tonight that is going to watch either tonight or tomorrow or the next, whenever they pick up this video, that may know nothing about Christ as you and I do, but they can relate to the story that you've just given, the testimony that you have just given, that everything came back to the love, loving ourselves, being honest with ourselves, loving us first before we love everybody else out there, because we're so in tune and we're so trained that we got to do everything else out there, but we don't take care of this on the inside. And if I'm not honest with me, if I don't love me and I don't have that relationship with God, what else is going to happen? it's hard for me to be able to expound and express to other people what I know to be true. And my truth is that God is love. And He shared it and He showed it. But here you are as a living witness through your experience that you're giving us 7 key things and 7 ways that we need to look at that. And I'm just telling you, you know you ain't going to just at the first show you're coming back. You're coming back again in 23. I just want you to know that. And as we're gearing up for the Favorite Prayer Conference, let me just go ahead and put that out there. We're gearing up for the Favorite Prayer Conference. And Dr. Tay, I haven't mentioned this to you, but I want you to be one of the keynote speakers at one of the panelists for the Favorite Prayer Conference this year. We're going to get with you and check your schedule. I want to bring some souls to the Favorite Prayer Conference this year that's going to empower us. They have true stories. They have true things. Not to say that we've always had it in the shows. It's not that at all. That's not what I'm saying. But everything that you have talked about tonight, I want us to take it into 23. Because this is truly what favor is fair to me, is with the things that you've talked about tonight. So, Doc, girl, let me before you make me cry now. See, you ain't right. See, you ain't right. You ain't right. So I want to ask you. I know we're pushing for a little time, and I don't want to worry on your patience because I know you've had a full day. But I want you to be able to give everything that God has given you to give to us tonight. So I want to ask another question. You talked about the relationship piece that is so during this time of season, people like myself who are single or in this time single and waiting. Ugh. To say that together sometimes it scares me, girl. But single and waiting this time. This time of season can be a little harsh, a little hard, right? So I'm totally with you on the relationship. But can you tell us one of the other out of the other 6 things that you haven't talked about tonight? And I know you got this in a book. I know this is part of one of your books. I'm sure of it. If it's not, then it should be.
The one I should finish and put out that was supposed to be finished by next week. But anyway, let's keep going.
Ooh,
it's not though. It's not.
Ooh, well, it will. It could be.
It could be
possible.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, we claim it. We receive it for it. We're standing in agreement for that. And I want to be the first one to get my copy. I'm just gonna say.
Yes.
I want the first copy. Okay. Well, next to you, you gotta have the first copy. I'll take the second copy. Yes. But out of the other 6 things, what would you say tonight would be the next thing that you want to tell us about tonight? Because I'm telling you, the relationship piece, girl. Whew. That's all I can say. I'm gonna say, whew.
Yeah. So let's talk about the one probably that our country could probably use some about. Let's talk about our financial health.
Oh, come on now.
Because tis the season.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. Because mental health, know this. I want to talk about mental health, but that would be way too long, right? Like it's such an area that really is important, and it really drives into everything we do. But
you're coming back for that. We're coming back for that. I got a month of that, and I'm bringing you back for that.
But let's talk about our financial health. Are we mastering our money, or is our money mastering us? What is your relationship like with money? And see, I'm not going to talk about the people who don't have any money, right? Because we know what that challenge feels like. But I want to talk to my favorite people. My people that are walking in the favor of God.
Okay, now.
And you are walking so much in the favor of God that you are trusting more in the favor of God than the God of the favor.
Woo, come on now.
Right?
That's good.
But dare you become so cocky in your favor,
well,
that you forget the God. Don't be like David, who had to cry out in Psalms.
Well,
about the time that he got so sure and so cocky about how God had prospered him. But then he found himself running into a situation.
Mm.
So in this season, I need us to look at our financial health, right? How are we mastering our money? Or is the money mastering us so much that it has become our God? And we have forgot our role in society to take care of the poor, the hungry, the widow. My people with the favor, that's who I'm talking to.
Yeah, come on now.
Are we mastering the money, or are we allowing it to master ourselves? Running out, buying all of the gifts, spending your last dime, and then praying for God to pay the bills for the next month, or spending the next. And I'm able to talk about this, right? Because I've been here,
Mm-hmm. Come on, talk about me.
right? Or praying for the next 3 months into the new year just to get back on track for all the money you spent in the one day in December.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you don't want anybody to think anything about you. You don't want them to know that you don't have the money. Or for those of you who have the money, you want everybody to know you have it. Favor. Listen, I ain't mad at favor.
I ain't mad.
I ain't mad at favor, and favor ain't
Mm-mm.
fair. Oh,
Mm-mm.
but dare not get so cocky that you worship the favor versus the God that gave you the favor.
That part.
That part. I
That
need us to get back there. Back to worshiping the God, that we set our eyes to him and not his hands. Set our eyes to his eyes. Let us catch him at his eyes and not at his hand.
Come on now. Come on now.
Why? Because when we do not take care of our financial health, rather you find yourself at either ends of the extreme, flowing with favor or challenge and trying to find it. No matter where you find yourself at on that spectrum, right? We must keep our eyes on the God that we say that we serve. See, I'm not talking to unbelievers. Unbelievers act as unbelievers do. The Bible wasn't written necessarily for them. It was written for us to learn the
That's
principles.
right. That's right.
But in the area of our finance in this season, let us make sure that we're being a good steward of the money and the finances that he gave us.
That's
And
right.
the other thing is making sure that we are seeking the God and not the favor.
That's right.
Seeking the God and not the finance.
Come on now.
Because know this, you can have the finance and it will be as grains of sand
Come on.
falling through your fingers. And no
That's
matter how hard you try to hold on to it, you will look and eventually see there's nothing there. And it's so tricky. It's so slippery. Before you know it, you done swiped away your life.
Whew.
Swiper, go swiping.
Come on there, Doc. Talk
But
about
they
it.
have made it so easy. It is mindless. If you do not tell your money where to go, your money will go where it wants to go.
That's it.
But hear me, if again, we back at the bomb, right? You're going to trust God for the finance, for the favor, right? That's what we're trusting for. You already assessing your situation. I'm broke or I'm not broke, or I'm challenged and I'm on my way to being six
Come on.
figures, right? Seven figures, right? Oh, but we got to make some lifestyle modifications.
That's right.
Have you been to the grocery store lately? What you used to buy with $150 costs you $300 now.
That's right.
So if you don't go, so all of that frivolous buying, and I like to buy two of everything when I go to the store. So all of that buying two just because if I like this real good and it run out, I have backup, I have another one. Sometimes you're gonna have to give second thought and say, God, what is it
Ooh,
that you want me to do?
that's
What
it.
am I to buy? Show me how to stretch this food.
That's
I
right.
went in the store the other day. I'm gonna tell y'all a tip. Okay. Y'all didn't like when y'all mama made liver back in the day, but I wanted some liver the other day. I went in the store. I want y'all to know it was the cheapest thing that you could buy. Ooh, it was $1.70.
Wow. Wow.
You know how many packs I bought? Cause here I go. I needed more than one. But let me let you know. Now I got a whole $2 meal, and that chicken that's sitting over there that don't even taste like chicken no more.
Mm,
That's $10, $15 for some wings, because that's the only part I'm gonna eat.
girl.
Huh? You know how much liver? I have liver. I could feed how many people? How many days in a bag of onions?
Ooh. Ooh.
Huh? And a bag of rice. Okay, how many days could we eat on that?
Right.
Because God will give you the strategies, right? Because now I'm being forced to transform my mind to not just go, I saw some crab legs. They was 50% off. Oh, Jesus, they was
Ooh,
marked down. But I didn't need them. I needed that $1.70 liver is what I
mm,
need. Not
come on now.
$22.
Come
Now,
on
how
now.
many more days can I eat? How much less? Right? Because at that point, it ain't praying that God give me money. It's praying that I use wisdom.
Wisdom.
And he says, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask.
That's right.
Your mama would say, just use some common sense.
Ooh, talk that.
That's how she would say it to you. Grandma
That's
would
right.
say, child, if you don't go over there and make you a pot of beans, because see, what
Mm,
we're about to have to learn in this season, first of all, our food supply looks like something different in this country.
that's true.
And so we have to begin to use some wisdom. So what did I just tell you about? I just told you about two of them all at the same time. So I just
Hmm.
talked to you about financial health, but I also just talked to you about your nutritional health.
Yes, you
See, because
did.
some of y'all are going to the fast food store to
Come
get
on,
your
Doc.
food.
Come on, Doc. Talk.
Some of y'all are getting that injected up chicken. Now, some chicken look like the size of pigeons, and others looks like the size of turkey. But it's the chicken. I don't know which one you want.
Ooh,
I I,
ooh.
I don't really want either. But at the end of the day, we have to be wise about what we're putting in our body nutritionally, and it will impact you financially. Some places you go buy that fruit, it doesn't taste like fruit
That's
anymore.
true. That's true.
So hoarding and buying all the fruit at one time, it isn't even profitable for you because it's rotting in your refrigerator so
Mm-hmm.
fast. Or you got the other one. I had some fruit the other day that I don't know how grapes last in your refrigerator for 3 weeks
Girl.
and never go bad.
Girl.
I don't know where those grapes came from, but I'm not eating them.
Ah,
So we're
telling the
in a
truth.
season in our lives that we have to our financial health. Spend all your favor money up on houses and cars and shoes and purses, right? I'm not saying don't get any of that, but
Right.
ultimately you're going to be making a choice between do I spend it on that or I spend it on some quality food.
That part. That part.
So it's all intertwined. So rather it's one area of health that you find yourself struggling in today, tomorrow may be another health day. One day you may be optimal in one area and struggling in another, and they're all connected. Because if you ain't eating the right thing, then your physical body can't show up right. If you're not processing and moving around, just as you mentioned, now you got migraines. Now your mental health is off, and you popping off at people, and you're crankier than normal. It's all
Talk about that.
related. It's all
Ooh,
related. But your
ooh, gee.
nutrition, you got to get it on track. If you don't have enough of your B vitamins, you will feel like you have dementia, people.
Phew. Come on, Doc. Talk
This
about
is
it. Talk
thing,
about it.
this is real life. Like God isn't, yes, he's God, but he gives you practical implications, right?
That's right.
And
That's
so at
right.
this point, until we make the lifestyle modifications based on the rules and the strategy that God gives you specific for you, right? You can then begin to move to the mind transformation, because now it becomes who you are, not
Mm,
stuck in who you were,
come on.
that person who has been dishonest. So let's talk about it. I said 50 by 50. Well, I told that lie to myself, because I promise you, I found an excuse. See, this is my transparent moment. Like,
Come on
love
there,
me
Doc.
or not. Like, I found an excuse to eat cake. My father-in-law had a birthday. My husband had a birthday. Oh, we just had a party today. Ooh, what? We ate good. I don't know how I'm getting down 50 pounds by the time 50 comes in. How many more days before the new year? 13 more days.
Mm,
I got
girl,
13 more days, y'all. Y'all praying for me. I
we
need y'all.
pray.
If we're the prayer boys, can you stand in agreement that my mouth, that I'm gonna have the mental capacity to tell myself no?
Mm,
Huh? And understanding it has a spiritual connection, because he said we shall not live by bread alone.
that's it.
My life ain't dependent on that. But when I put it in my mouth, I need to make sure that it is the appropriate thing. This is for Dr. Tonoah. It ain't for nobody on here. So to the person who said they're
Talk
about
to me.
talking about nutrition, yep.
Talk, Doc.
I'm just saying, this for me. Because guess
Talk
what?
to
I
me.
know how vitally important it is. Because 18 years ago, I lost over 150 pounds. And I kept it off until COVID came to visit me. And I've been sitting for 2 years a year and a half since I left my job. So it's been different. Oh,
Wow.
now you got to do different. See, my strategies that worked when I was moving and working 8 to 14 hours a day, traveling and out. I used to walk 4 miles in the like all of
Yes,
that,
girl.
right? That was my life.
That was it.
Now I made a shift. Now I got to say, Holy Spirit, tell me what I need to do today. And I don't want to take a pill. I don't want a shot. None of that. I need it to be natural. I need it to be what God has for me in my body. So why am I saying that? Ladies, gentlemen that's on this line, right? Our health
Mhm.
matters. Your health matters. All 7 of the areas matter.
Yes, it does.
And you got to look at them on a regular basis to determine where you are at today. So get you a coach like Coach Victoria, or whoever your
Mhm.
favorite coach may be. See, I'm not saying you have to come to me. You can, but you don't have to. Find what works for you, because what we know is everybody can't have relationship. Everybody can't speak in your life. And better yet, you won't receive from everybody.
Come on now, Doc. You better tell it. Say that again.
So I recommend you find the person that God has for you, because you
That's
will
right.
not listen to everybody, no
That's it.
matter if they say the same thing the other person said.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
I might talk too loud. I may see these lines, right? I may frown. I
Ooh,
promise you. Look, Coach Victoria is real sweet. I am
girl.
maybe not that person. I am going to love you. So I am for the people who need love.
I don't
And the
know,
love
Doc.
that comes with the discipline.
I, I don't know, Doc. I'm not so sweet of a
I
coach.
don't know.
So
You
some of
always
my
smiling. I don't know if I'm always smiling. I'm just saying.
some of my students are in here for my classes. They're gonna probably tell you I ain't always sweet. But I'll tell you, I need look, I'm gonna have to call you, schedule my own private session, because you was a girl. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Doc. I'm
No.
serious.
Our lives are so like all of these
Yes.
areas of our lives are important. And when we do not show up well,
Yes.
our family and friends and those around us are impacted, because rather
Yes.
you know it a lot, rather you have a platform, don't have a platform, you are an influencer.
Come on, Doc. Talk. That's it.
So
You
I
said
need you to understand that you have purpose and you got to show up well because people are watching. And
that's
as you
it.
begin to build trust in the God that you say you serve, the God that you say you wanted a relationship with,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's it.
And you begin to honestly tell yourself the truth. Assess who you are and tell yourself the truth. Martha, tell yourself the truth. I hear you. She ain't as sweet. But right. But she has her moments, right? But we got to get to those lifestyle modifications. You got to begin to modify your lifestyle. So when the coach show up, be sure to understand she's giving you the game plan. And because you have one that's a believer, you want to trust that the Holy Spirit is giving her the instruction and the download that's specific for you. That's why relationship is important.
Mm, mm, mm-hmm.
Because anybody could read you the book. Go pick one up off the shelf. Choose one. Everybody wrote a book. I ain't got to write a book. It's tons out there.
It's a whole lot.
It's a
That's
whole
it.
lot. Just pick one. Just pick one. But the truth of the matter is, if it's not what God has for you,
That's true.
it
That
won't
is true.
work.
That is so true.
And if you're not willing to be obedient, amen, to the people who pay for coaches and then don't be obedient, but you want to see the change, you got to be willing to do the work.
Talk about me now. Come on, coach. Talk about it.
You got to be willing to put in the work. And it's going to be long hours. You see she on here at 9:14 at night. Why? Because she cares about you. She cares about the people that God has called her to. So she would go and spend her whole day doing all the things that she has to do. But before the weekend ends, she's been called to this place to go search out and bring others around. She don't have to celebrate me. Not at all. I thank God for her. But she don't have to invite anybody to her platform. But she knows that we're better together than we are. And guess what? I ain't going to try to steal her clients. And she ain't going to try to steal mine. And better yet, it wouldn't work no way.
You
Because
wouldn't work
only
no
what's mine is mine and hers is hers. And I'm good with it.
Say so, God.
But she says she's having uncensored conversation. I don't know if she really meant me for that, but at the end of the day, I'm here because what I give you, this is me. Meet me on the street, meet me in an interview in a boardroom. If you ever shut up long enough to hear me talk, I will. If you're talking while I'm talking, I will not talk. I won't. And I'm okay with it. Because I know that my voice only is to be heard in spaces it's supposed to be. So every time this is just a piece of advice for somebody.
Come on, Dad.
Every time you get to the table, it does not mean your mouth should open. Know the difference. Know the difference. Sometimes God sits you there to be a silent observer. You do not have to tell everybody everything that you know.
There you go.
Why? Because it will impact your relationships. They will call you to know it all. They will begin to turn their ears off. You will feel like you're being ostracized. And better yet, some of y'all are setting yourselves up for expectations from people that you don't have the capacity to fulfill unless you have the Holy Spirit guiding you, and it's what God gave you to do. So you're opening your mouth because you're knowledgeable, but it doesn't mean you have the capacity to take care of their needs in that space.
That's it. Oh my goodness. Who that?
So you held out. I don't know. Like we got all the way down here. I don't even know. It was like months ago. I think I was supposed to first come since we did Lisa.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But to God be the glory. I thank you for this. I thank you for each and every person who will
Yes.
watch it, who's watching now. My prayer is that you come to know how important you are to God and how important your health is to you fulfilling purpose, so that when you die empty. That's right. So you gotta be healthy so yet to die.
Mm. Now
That part.
that right there, that right there. Now, see, somebody else wouldn't have said it that way, but that is the truth.
Yeah, we want to die. We want to
I'll
get
be
so
empty.
healthy that we die empty.
Wow.
You
Wow.
would think I'm gonna get healthy and I'm gonna have my health back. I'm gonna be healed, whole, and transformed so I can live forever, ever. Amen. No, you get healed, whole, and transformed so that you can die empty.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm. That.
Die. The
Oh,
key to life is death.
come on now.
Think
Wow.
about it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Doc, I want you to hold it right there for a quick second because I want you to come back and give us closing thoughts for tonight. You are coming back for part two. I have had guests on the show before that some of the listeners have said, "Can you bring them back?" Well, guess what, Doc? I ain't gonna wait for people to ask me, "Can I bring you back?" I'm bringing you back, and we're gonna do it real soon. Hold on, real quick. We just want to let people know what's coming up for the next couple of uncensored conversations, and then we're gonna come back with Dr. T. Hampton, so she can tell you her closing remarks. I tell you, I got chills going up my spine, up my leg, girl. I don't know. I like my private sessions. Y'all stay tuned.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
All right.
Woo, Doc, I tell you. Mm, 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 mm. Can I just say that? You know, we have used to get that my kids fuss at me because I do it all the time. Like if I'm eating something, I'm going When Doc,
Mhm.
mm, mm,
At different
mm,
pace,
mm.
at our table used to be at a different pace. My grandmother used to go, mm, mm, mm. My mother did it a little bit faster. Mm.
That part,
That part.
that part right there. Martha, you said it the best. Tonight has been full of pure wisdom, pure wisdom. Uh, Dr. T, I tell you, I can't tell you how much um, you have been a blessing to me on tonight. I love my people out there, and you're right. I'll stay up all night to figure out some, whatever's. But I'm gonna be a little selfish on tonight. I needed this tonight for me. This was amazing, and I'm
Mm.
bringing you back. I got to get with you on your schedule. I want to bring you back for part two because I think it's important that people understand how these 7 components that you are teaching on is going to take us to the next level. You know, elevate and not tolerate is about empowering and embracing and educating us to elevate and not tolerate. And
Mm.
that has to be a part of the 7 key components that you're given. And not only that, you are a person that I have learned. And it's not through a lot of conversation. We probably talked maybe once or twice at the most, but sitting back and observing, as you said, watching you, listening to you, you are such a giving person and a blessing to the kingdom that I am honored that our paths have crossed. And I take it as an honor from God that He allowed it to come at the very moment that I needed it to come in my life. Because every great coach needs a better great coach. And you it for me tonight. I mean, you are amazing. inspiration, motivational speaker. I can't wait for the book. I'm buying, look, everybody that knows me knows I promote 5 copies of everything somebody's got. Well, for you, my sister, 10 copies. When that book comes out, everybody better get 2 copies, because you're going to need one to take notes in, and you're going to have one that you got to share with somebody else. But Dr. T, you have, I just don't know. We got to get you back real soon on the show. It's important that people on my side know more about you, because I'm sure there's other people that have not heard you speak, which is a really a um, sadding. That's a sad. It's very sad that some people have not heard you speak. But I think it's also, that's the reason why God connects us with the right people, so that we connect other people with you as well. And tonight has been my honor to have you on this show. You will be coming back in 23. Guys, y'all might as well get ready. Y'all might see her 2 or 3, 4, 5 more times on Uncensored Conversation. She will be a part of some of the events that we're getting ready to do in 23. We just gonna get with her schedule. Dr. T, could you take us out with something for the people that have been with us all night? Martha, Kay, Regina, Michelle B. Hammond. Michelle's probably one of the reasons why I've even been able to connect with you, between her and Lisa. So can you give the people that are listening or may listen later to this conversation, and give them a quick something to grasp to, so they can go out and reach out to you even more about these other 7 components. Are in this together. I'm not a person that no, I don't know it all. I believe in personal development at any cost, and whatever I got to do to help people, if that's the meaning to get another coach to bring them in, so that they can speak, another spiritual leader, another spiritual motivator like yourself, to bring them in. That's what I want to do, because there's a whole lot of people out there that need us. And there's a whole lot of people that's not giving their gifts back. And that's what I want to be able to do. But Doc, tell the people a couple of things. Give them something to think about. There was something, give you something to think about. Give them something to think about. Tell them how they can reach out to you. And what are some things that you got coming in 23 that we can look forward to?
So I want to leave you all with a bit of encouragement, right? We're getting ready to go into 2023, and you might have had some tests and trials. Your health may have been challenged, rather it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. You've lost some people. Some people have walked out of your life. Your body ain't doing what it used to do. You're feeling a bit down, right? But God has promised us some things, and He said in His word for us to be strong and to be very courageous. So I say to you tonight, be strong and be very courageous. And just like He told Joshua, in just about 3 days, and don't get caught up in the 3 days, it means in just a short amount of time, you shall cross over into that promised land. Some of you are saying, look, I have been trying all I know how to get my life together, to do what I believe God has called me to do. And Dr. Tonoah, it ain't quite happened that way. But I'm going to say to you, and I'm going to remind you all, that He said, be strong and courageous. He promised He would never leave you. He would never forsake you. Why? Because He is love. And with His love comes safety and security. So with God, you get love, because that's what and who He is. You get security. He's never going to leave you out there alone. And safety. And so tonight, your health matters. And I am going to strongly encourage you to take a look at yourself. Be honest with the girl in the mirror that's staring back at you while you stare at her, and y'all having to stare down. But I want you to stare long enough till you look into her eyes and look right through her windows of her heart, and see all of the emotions that done came in the front door, that's sitting in her living room, and all the anger and the bitterness that ran up in the kitchen, and you ready to throw a hot pot of grits at somebody, or through your eyes to the basement where you are hiding all of your past and you haven't gone down there to look at it in quite some time. And I'm going to ask that you look through all of those areas, go inspect your house, your heart,
Mm.
and then tell your God, be willing, like the woman with the issue of blood, to risk it all because you're tired. I know you're tired because I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You may have done it 5 years ago. This is a daily dying. There's other areas that'll come up in your life. So it's not a one and done. Forgiveness of yourself and others is not a one and done. It's a process. And as God shows you and you're honest with what you see, ask God for the strategies so that you can make some lifestyle changes so you don't continue to deal with the same issues. Be strong and very courageous, though. Be willing to take the risk
Mm-hmm.
so that you can be renewed in your mind. So, Coach Victoria, I truly appreciate you for allowing me this opportunity to share on your platform, to just have this uncensored conversation with you and your audience. They can find me every Monday morning at 7 a.m. So you got the Sunday evening watch. I got the first thing Monday morning watch. It ain't many people who can get up and be ready at 7 a.m.
Come on
But
now.
Mondays at 7 a.m., catch the Bomb TV with Dr. Tonoah. I'm there on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. As well as YouTube, as well as Thursday evenings. I host a women's life group. Why? Because we're
Wow.
doing life together. We're
Wow.
doing life together. I don't do it on Facebook intentionally, right? Because what I said to you in the very beginning is I
That's
like to
right.
create safe spaces for people to heal. You can't hide, but you need to be safe, right? We need to know that people aren't going to take your business to the street when you have
Say
to
so.
say what you need to say. So it's a safe space. So that is where you can find me every Thursday evening. And now you're going to hear before anybody here this coming Friday, I get to announce the opening of my nonprofit building. We have a physical location. The Bomb has a physical location. Yes, we are here to create rooms for women to heal, right? Mentally, physically, and emotionally. But what does that look like? You need job readiness skills. You need to be able to do mock interviews so you can show up and land the deal. You need to be able to get mentoring from professionals. You need to understand your physical medicine. We are providing programs and services for women so that they help their families make
Wow.
the best decision possible.
So
So
happy for you.
so I'm so elated with how God has brought this to be. Truth be told, I got the keys 2 weeks ago. I can tell you that God
Wow.
has fully furnished it. So this is about financial health. I spent literally little to no money at all so far to open it up. Yes, Friday, God willing and no snow, we're going to
It is
host
done.
our 4th anniversary celebration for the
Oh,
Bomb,
wow.
just to reintroduce ourselves to the community after COVID, and to really find those partners, right? Who are those people, right? Because we don't want it to just stay in the DMV area. I'm in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area.
Right.
We want to take it to the nation. And so we're looking for community partners and organizations and companies that have women and families in their workforce that they need to have personal and professional development while we address it through the lens of health.
Wow.
So that is what I
Wow.
have happening just immediately. Um,
I'm so happy for you. So
thank you.
happy.
Thank you. It's to God. I give God all the glory for
Yes.
it. And then in the coming year, I have a few speaking engagements. I think one is called The Father's Heart with I see a Ragsdale, so that'll be coming up. And so much more. I'm a part of another organization, Black Nurse Collaborative, because I'm a nurse by trade.
Yes.
And we will have our upcoming summit dealing with disparities and inequities that we find in our community, particularly for that Black nurses face, and as well as our Black community. So we're educating our community. So
Oh,
I have
wow.
that coming up. So many more things. But if you're looking for me, I'm Tonoah Hampton on Instagram. You can go to my website, tonoahampton.com. It's just so much. Building slow. You may not see me a lot of different places. I do
Mm-hmm.
Christian counseling, and,
Yes,
and
you
and
do.
that's really the space that my heart burns in. In the Christian sector, we get to call it Christian counseling, but really it's nothing more than mentoring, right? Building relationships and walking you through journeys to becoming everything that God has you. And so that's who I am, and where you can find me at. But I'm just grateful for this opportunity. And I thank you, Coach Victoria, for allowing me this opportunity on your platform.
Dr. T, see, I am so speechless. I am just like, wow, wow. I am super excited about it. I am, what a wonderful way to end Uncensored Conversation, listening to the accomplishments and the new things that's getting ready to take place. I don't want to cry because if I start crying, then I'll start coughing. I celebrate you on tonight. Lisa just recently, had her program yesterday, Hidden Treasures, and when she first started talking about it, I said, "There's so many people." And to me, she's a hidden treasure. But tonight, I'm going to honor you on Uncensored Conversation as a true hidden treasure for me. I
Oh,
thank God for all of the things that you are getting ready to do and the things that you have not even begun to do, that God has put in your hands to be the leader and the plow driver for. You are absolutely amazing. I can't wait. I'm coming up. See you and all you jokers up there in the Maryland, DC area. Y'all making
the
me.
DMV, the DMV.
I'm coming to DMV. I'm coming. Look, Lisa's got to take me to eat some crabs. I'm just coming to sit at your feet and feast off of the spiritual. Michelle Hammond is taking me places I can't even imagine when I get there. I'm excited about celebrating the best part of you and the celebration of your future growth and the things that's getting ready to happen. You are such an amazing person. I know it was need be that we end 22 with something positive, but something to celebrate and something to grow from. And that's what you are tonight.
Thank you.
Look, I'm trying my best not to cry because y'all know if I start crying, it's going to be a problem. I'm just going to tell you. But ever since the very first conversation that you and I had, I think it just showed me so much love and what some people will never understand, what some people will never be able to use and understand what true people are about. You have done it for me. I mean, I don't, and I said this to somebody earlier tonight, and I hope she's watching. I said, I understand why some people don't like to get accolades because they don't know how to receive them. Because sometimes people get accolades because they're really wanting the validation, and that's the only way that they can get it, right? But I'm saying thank you to you tonight, not because you need anybody's validation, not because you're not a person who feeds off accolades, but I'm saying thank you tonight because you could have said no. You could have said no that you didn't want to share your story. You could have said no that you're not gonna go through this. You could have said no, I'm not even gonna even think about it. But you said yes. When you said yes to opening up a whole lot of more doors for us as women, as believers, all of that. You did that for us. And I just want to say thank you for your yes. because you are true hidden treasure from God to the rest of us. And I thank you so much. I can't wait to come and just sit in your facility and just glean from it. I just can't. I'm just excited. Look, I feel like I'm I feel like I'm gonna walk in on the cutting of the ribbon or something. I don't know. Just I'm excited. God, this has made me excited because you've given me hope. You've given us hope tonight. And I just want to say thank you again for being here. You will be coming back. And I guess I better start booking you real quick with your schedule. But I want you to come back and share with us some more about the bomb and more about you. We're going to be rooting on this side of the river for you. And I feel like there's some ways that you're going to gravitate over here to North Carolina on this side with your programs. And I'm going to be out there rooting for you. And I'm going to be out there doing some leg work to see what we can do to bring you here to the North Carolina area because we need you. We need people like you in this area to help us get to our next. So I thank you so much, my friend. If there's anything that Victoria Elevates or Uncensored could ever do, you know my door stand open to you. Just let me know what a girl can do for you. And I appreciate you so much. Guys, Doctor, is there anything else you have for us tonight, Doc?
I'm just going to say this. What God has done for me, he can do for others. See, I truly believe I just become just an example to share my testimony. So for those who may be watching, who are wondering, when will my time come? Because it doesn't seem like your time has come, and what God has given you doesn't quite seem to line up with what others are doing. Don't lose hope. I say it again, don't lose hope. I tell you to be strong and be very courageous. Why? God will use the very thing that seems like foolishness to somebody else to bless you with. To bless you with. Why? Because he loves you, because he chose you, because he made you like that. Don't lose hope, but don't despise the small beginnings. Don't despise the small beginning, right? The 5 people, the 1 person, the 3 people, whatever the small is. See, this is just the beginning for the bomb because see, I have visions of having multi service complexes all over the country with free and charitable clinics for women and their children to come to. And so this is just the beginning. And retreat centers. Why? Because I want you to have a place where you can come and receive your healing. And the thing about it is, it ain't about me because I don't have a desire to be a solopreneur or a one-hit wonder or Wonder Woman or Wonder Woman. You can have all the S on your chest for me. I want to find the community of people to partner with, to do the work. So whatever your special gifting is, that you can use it. So know this for everybody who feels like they have not gotten the thing that they've hoped for. I just want you to remember from Dr. Tonoah tonight, if he did it for her, God, surely you can do it for me. Surely you will do it for me. But I'll tell you this, it comes with obedience.
That's right.
So don't give up and don't stop because Tonoah wasn't always obedient. Better yet, I still miss it sometimes. But be encouraged tonight. Coach Victoria, you have faced many challenges over the last few weeks. The enemy is knocking on your door every chance he gets because you are committed to doing what God has called you to do. But I tell you tonight, don't lose hope. Don't give up. Change your very language. Why do I say that? And I know that you know why, right? You are a kingdom citizen. So even when the challenges come, I'm going to need you to speak what God says about it. So when the migraine tries to come, it ain't my migraine. When the diagnosis tries to be pinned on you for sciatica, you begin to pray, Father, I thank you for the releasing of the pressure on the nerve that's trapped, that the pain would dissipate. God, they call it sciatica. God, I'm speaking to sciatica, right?
Yes.
to cease and desist.
That's it.
And Father, I thank you now. But in this season, your words are going to be so pivotal to your next place that He called you to. You cannot speak anything that's contrary to the word of God. I know it's going to be tough. Ask me how I know. Even things down, like I'll use this as an example. I used to say all the time, I know I'm not crazy. Until I had a woman of God tell me, never say it again.
Wow.
She says to Noah, no, you're not. And don't even put it in the atmosphere attached to your name.
Right.
I wasn't saying it like I was. I was actually excited. She said, well, then say what you're really excited for. God, thank you for confirming the wisdom you gave me.
Oh, my God.
It shifts the atmosphere.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So, Victoria, continue to shift the atmosphere. Be strong and very courageous. In just about 3 days from now, you will cross over into the promised land. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. Yes, sorrow and suffering had to be your companion on this journey to becoming everything He called you to be. But much afraid you are no more. Let Him change your name. And walk flat-footed, but yet gentle and light. So you're agile, flexible, easy to adjust when obstacles come.
Yes.
So I just encourage you to keep going. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't let the obstacles discourage you. They're coming. That's what they're supposed to do.
So true.
But with God's strategies and His plans, you can't fail. All I say is be blessed, my sister.
All I'm going to say is this conversation will continue. And I take every word from His mouth to your ears that you release to me. Because transparency, there's things that you sort of kind of knew, but you didn't kind of sort of know. So I hear you. I hear you, God. And I thank you for being obedient tonight. I thank you,
You're
my
welcome.
sister, my friend.
To God be all the glory. He does all things well.
Yes, He does.
He lines up what He has to line up the way He does. And so for that, we say we're grateful.
We are grateful. We are grateful.
And that even in this moment, as you accept this word, that there will be no backlash, right, in the spirit realm to come and snatch up and eat up the seeds that's been planted. But those seeds will take root and begin to grow and produce a harvest, and a harvest in such an abundance, right, in your life that will produce the joy, the peace, the love, the kindness, the gentleness, all those things that we need. But the truth of the matter is, it's really love. So may the seeds of love be planted so deep in your heart that you're transformed from the inside out.
I love you, my sister.
I love you too.
To all of you that have stayed with me and Dr. T tonight, I know you have been blessed. I I know you have been blessed. Because even my wall is over here cracking. So that's breaking up this atmosphere, Dr. T. Breaking up that atmosphere. Um, so I know everyone who has been watching tonight, has been listening tonight. You have been you have no choice but to be blessed. And if you ain't blessed, then I guess you need to call Dr. T. So you can find out what your number 7 is that you need to work on. Because I'm telling you, um, I thank you so much. Okay, guys, I gotta let my doc go. I gotta let my doc go because me and her we talk all night. But I want her to get her rest in because she got a full week now. She got ribbon cuttings on Friday, so we got to make sure she is getting her rest in. Doc, I thank you so much, guys. If you come back we're not gonna come back next week. It's Christmas Day. We want you to enjoy your family and friends and love on your loved ones, but mainly remember what the 25th of December really stands for. And try to make sure you use that honesty and love that Dr. T has talked about tonight. Building those positive relationships, building those positive financial wellness and health that you need, building upon the things that she talks about with the bomb. And make sure you reach out for you. Coming January 8th, the first Sunday that we're going to be back is going to be on January the 8th. My guest will be Lady Belinda Preston, who is going to be with us on that day. She is a beautiful domestic violence advocate that she's been on one of our conferences recently. She's coming back to talk about domestic violence as well as her recently released book, and we're going to be talking more about that. But we just want you to just I don't like to do a whole lot of benedictions that after the sermon has been preached, because this right here has been a message tonight. So I want everybody to go home and I want you to just rest in this, just marinate yourself into this and get ready for your next, because your next is coming real soon. Doc, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Guys, we'll see you next time on Uncensored Conversation, because we want you to be elevated and not tolerated. We'll see you in 23.